Well, welcome back. With me, I have an individual who you got to meet last year on Cityline when they were doing their first very big fundraiser. And I fell in love with this person. I've always loved what they have done. Please join me in welcoming Lisa Talbot. She is the executive director of the new Phoebe House Association. Hello, Miss Lisa.
Good morning. How are you?
I am well, my dear. It is good to see you. I haven't seen you, I think, since November. So right around there.
Yeah, the end of October-ish. Absolutely. Yeah, it feels like forever ago.
It did. So, Lisa, tell us about your background, because I want folks to know. I know about your background, but I want folks to know, just in my opinion, how fortunate we are to have you at the helm of the new Phoebe House. And you don't show up without spending time in the trenches. So tell us about your background, my dear.
Wow. So my background, originally I'm from Louisiana. Let's just take it all the way back there. And I have lived in 7 states and 2 countries. I have my master's from the University of Southern California in nonprofit management. I learned to run cities, but I run New Phoebe House instead. I have about 20 plus years of leadership experience. I think I'm dating myself a bit with that little detail. Other than that, I've spent a lot of time, I did a lot of time in corporate America, but I've also done a lot of years in the nonprofit sector. And I like the nonprofit sector better. It means that I get to get up every day and feel like I'm putting something back into the world, not just filling pockets. It's definitely more fulfilling than making hats. So we get to change lives and we get to do these things. And I spend an entire world trying to learn skills to be able to better help every woman and child in this facility. And I am privileged every day to get to be able to do it.
And you do it so gracefully and so well, my dear, because what you just said is a heavy heart statement. It means that you wake up every day ready to fight the fire, but also stand in the solution. So, Mama, you got some strong shoulders. For people who have never heard about New Phoebe House Association, give us an idea about how long they have been here in Tacoma, number one, and then maybe a vision and a mission, so we understand what you're all about and how we can help.
So this is our 20-year anniversary. Towards the end of this year, we will hit our 20-year mark here in the city of Tacoma and as a nonprofit. And that is really exciting. That's 2 decades of work and many families being helped, many lives changed and many cycles broken. And we couldn't be prouder to have done 2 decades of good.
Absolutely. Now, when you say, I love this phrase, cycles broken. Tell us about that. What does that mean in terms of what New Phoebe House does?
So part of what we do is really work with moms to help them learn new skills, especially around healthy relationships, breaking those violent cycles and the cycles of addiction, so that hopefully their children could possibly be in their family, the first generation, to not have to live through domestic abuse, emotional abuse, that those traumas that their moms and their moms and so forth have experienced. And we really want to break that so that they have a healthy start and they can live lives like their ancestors have never lived.
I love that. I love that phrase, ancestor. I always add spiritual ancestors onto that because I think we're all in training to be a spiritual ancestor. So how does, let's say if it was me and let's say I have a 2-year-old girl, and how do I qualify to receive all the good help from New Phoebe House?
So one of the things is you're supposed to be literally homeless in Pierce County, anywhere within the limits of Pierce County. And you should be experiencing some level of addiction or alcoholism, or recently have been clean. We do get folks from like inpatient treatment centers and other areas like that. Maybe they're already an outpatient. But you would just call our main number, that 253-383-7710, and you would go through a series of questions. They would ask you about your homelessness, your addiction status, how many children you had, what age they were. And then we would add you to our waiting list, which right now is the longest list I've ever seen at over 20 people. So,
Wow.
yes, we're pretty amazed by that. We're amazed by the need, and we're also amazed by the fact that we haven't actually had any turnover in a couple of months. So people are wanting to stay longer. We've made some program changes through COVID. We've done some learning and filling the gaps that happened in the community, and in that, what we've created is an environment that people really don't want to leave from, which is great. But we also want them to be self-sufficient and reliant and understand their worth and their strength and their abilities to live this life successfully.
So Lisa, everybody seems to have, in terms of your clients and your customers, their own little time frame for how long they need to be in the embrace of new Phoebe House, and also when they're ready to take that step on their own. I know that you have a tremendous reentry program, or maybe for the first time for someone to have their own place with their child or with their children. Tell us about that.
So that's what we call our aftercare program. And what we do is we enter folks into aftercare before they actually leave the program. We've created this overlapping model so that we have both sides of the team, the residential and the aftercare team, working with them congruently to help them really build community, healthy community. And by that, I mean, maybe it is folks that have been in recovery for 20 years, good support systems, so that they have positive community to go to, so that they don't have to feel the need to regress or to go back to where they've been. What we notice is that people leave the house, they feel lonely. So a lot of what we've done is bridge those gaps. We continue to integrate them in our program, and they keep doing that until they kind of slowly phase a little more out of it. So maybe they come and they eat dinner with the group. Maybe they come and they participate in programming a little bit. They can come to our in-house recovery meetings so that they still get that feeling like they are still part of this family, this residential family, as they're branching out on their own. We kind of look at it like teenagers when they grow up and they go to leave the house. Instead of that abrupt, sometimes if it's too abrupt and they've never left and they go off to college, things go a little awry. We try to make it to where they have a little bit softer landing and things aren't as harsh and shocking for them. And that seems to be working remarkably well, creating those connections within the community and them being able to find new families of choice.
Oh, I love that. And especially the way you said family is a choice. So, Lisa, how do we layer COVID on top of that in terms of protocols? When I saw you a year ago, I think if someone had put a microphone up to both of our faces and said, flash forward to February 2022, will you still be dealing with COVID? You and I would have yelled, no, we're done. We know the vaccinations are coming out. We're history. But flash forward and we are dealing with Omicron and still dealing with COVID. So how do your programs exist with that fear of COVID on top of them?
Well, Amanda, luckily, we're only about 6 weeks from when we originally locked down our facility in 2020. That's how long this has been going on. And I remember we are going to be locked down for 2 weeks. Like, it's all going to be fine. In the beginning, there was a lot more fear. Honestly, we all thought we were going to die, right? Or come close to it. Now we've come to understand that we can have a high survival rate. We have the vaccinations, we have those things. I think with Omicron, what we've experienced is that it's far more contagious than the previous versions, but maybe milder symptoms. But in the facility, we created such strong protocols in the beginning of 2020 that we were able to just document those, and we've been able to utilize them throughout. We have an entire system. If somebody even thinks that they have COVID, or any other illness, because we don't want that to spread through the facility either. So where they do quarantine and we bring their meals to them, we are able to deliver meds. We have a nice protocol of where they get their own trash can even, and we're able to bag their goods and glove them and take it out for them, so that they also get designated restroom space, shower space. So we've been able to really kind of create an environment that allows for anything contagious to not spread throughout the facility at mass rate. And so we've just become more comfortable in that. And I think that it's just become more of a way of life. And it's also changed the way we handle normal contagious things like colds or flu or stomach bugs.
That is just an incredible legacy from when we were first diagnosed to now. And I can see such good protocols, that those protocols will just stay in place forever, is what I hear you saying also. In these next few minutes, I want to talk about your fall fundraiser, because Phoebe House relies upon donors, sponsors, just the goodness of the citizens of Pierce County to help them and to help those who are their customers. So how can we help you with the fall fundraiser, and what do you need?
So this year it's going to be a little different. Instead of doing a really large fundraiser in the fall, we're going to do it at the end of summer. We are going to do it at Farm 12. We already have our date for July 29th. We will have details coming out about that, but it's going to be designed as a family-friendly fundraiser with fun and live music, and the ability to do it in the summer so we can be outdoors, so people can space out. So we don't have to worry as much about the indoor and the contagions, so that people can have a good time, feel safe, maybe get some fresh air, really enjoy the live music and children activities, because we are so family focused, and we usually don't do family focused fundraisers. And so this is really going to be an epic experience for families and family time. And we have a lot of great details coming out on the horizon. We're just kind of fine tuning those, so everybody will have to keep a lookout for that.
I love that, because it sounds like from your mouth to the universe's ear, we are hoping that just having it outside will gather enough people safely, to where you don't have to do a virtual one like you did last year. Is that right?
Correct. I mean, that was never ideal. We pivoted the word of COVID, and we made it work, and we did that. But we weren't able to have the group of people that we would love to have, and we weren't able to share in the capacity that we would really like to. So to be able to do this outside and make it family friendly, and be able to create those positive events in our funders' families as well as within our own facility. I mean, what a wonderful way to transfer what we do into the community and into the lives of those that support us.
Absolutely. And Lisa, is the video of Phoebe House still on your website where you take that tour of the kitchen?
It is. If you go to our Facebook, that's really where a lot of those videos are housed. So I think that that's a wonderful place for people to go and kind of explore around to see the videos and the videos of some of us speaking. I'm sure they would even find last year's interview with you there. So I think that that's a great place to do that. And we keep kind of resharing some of those things, the tidbits of those things, and we'll be continuing to do that. Probably adding some new things along the way, of course, ramping that up a bit. And really just getting excited to celebrate our 20 years of building families and positive legacies.
Absolutely. Okay, now, to every person who is listening right now, what do you need from them? Obviously, we need money, but do you need clothing? What do you need to keep that Phoebe House going inside?
One of our biggest needs continues to be twin sheet sets and twin comforters, because everybody, when they come in, they get new sheets, new blankets, new pillowcases, and they're able to take that with them into their home, because they're not going to have those things when they go to move out. Most of them have not had those things because they were literally homeless, maybe living in a tent. So they're allowed to take that bedding with them. They're sometimes we even send the mattresses and things with them until we can get the furniture bank on board to get them furnished. So blanket, sheets, towels, because we provide all the towels. So we provide any linens, and pillows. So really, bedding and towels, that is our biggest need always. And we purchase a tremendous amount of it all year long.
Thank you so much.
Hmm.
Lisa, I don't know how to say how grateful we are, we being the citizens of Tacoma and Pierce County, for all that you do and your team. I know that nobody does it alone. It's that saying that we all say over and over again, it takes a village. But truly, you have given us a beautiful illustration of what New Phoebe House is about and how we can help. And I want to have you back on sooner than later as we start to gear up for that fundraiser and start talking about tickets and donations and everything else. So Lisa,
That would be wonderful.
thank you so much for being here today.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it. Every time we get together, it's a pleasure.
It is a pleasure. Well, that wraps up another great segment of Cityline. It is always a pleasure and a privilege to be in your home as we're zooming from my kitchen. We've given you so many great things to think about and go out and do in this wonderful city. But before you do that, please remember, get yourself vaccinated, get yourself boosted, wear your mask, and keep yourself socially distanced when you're in big crowds. And when you do all that, come on back. We'll be waiting for you right here at Cityline. Take care.
Tacoma is my home, yeah, Tacoma.